Hello and welcome to our new playlist. The German Historical Institute Warsaw has launched a new book series, Poland Transnational Histories. This project is a cooperation with the Tadeusz Manteuffel Institute of History at the Polish Academy of Sciences. On our YouTube channel, you will get to know the authors and learn about their work. Please check also the info box below for further information and useful links. The first volume is Alexej Lochmatow's book, Public Knowledge in Cold War Poland, Scholarly Battles and the Clash of Virtues, 1945-1956. The book explores public debates among scholars that took place in early Cold War Poland. It is a study on the history of public knowledge and scholarship under Soviet domination. Using the concept of virtues as the analytic framework, the author invites us to take a fresh and more nuanced look at the process of Sovietization in Central and Eastern Europe. In this first video, Alexej explains the notion of virtue and how it became an analytical instrument for the history of knowledge.
The concept of virtue has a very long and, in fact, very controversial history. Perhaps the most obvious context of application of this concept in the field of ethics, and indeed most prominently for Aristotle, virtue or arete was not only a method of making an individual know what is the good thing to do in various life situations, but also a part of a bigger political project aimed at achieving kind of eudaimonia, so common happiness of all members of a polis. But for example, Machiavelli highlighted the masculine connotations of the Latin etymology of the concept of virtue, which comes from vir, man. Virtus can be translated as a kind of manliness. And Machiavelli's virtu was a part of his project of making a good prince capable of doing evil when necessary, and also a very important aspect of their quasi-sexual relationships between the prince and la fortuna, the fortune. For example, Maximilien Robespierre wrote that virtue and terror are the driving force of revolution, virtue without which terror is disastrous, and terror without which virtue is powerless. So the forms of usage and political applications of the concept of virtue have been very different throughout the history. But I think that we can still see certain patterns in this and say that in most cases virtue means a character trait, a positive character trait, which is supposed to be cultivated and is meant to make an individual good in accordance with certain normative system. The paradoxical thing about it is that we have to do, on the one hand, with a very paternalistic logic of, in fact, programming people for being good. And on the other hand, the discourse of virtues implies that having adopted a virtue, an individual became, in a sense, autonomous in acting rightly in various life situations without a direct instruction from above. Beside the field of ethics, the concept of virtue was also used by the history of ideas and intellectual history. And for example, the scholarship of epistemic virtues switched the focus of historians from the ideas themselves to the social and political conventions that made the appearance of these ideas possible. And in this sense, this concept was adopted by the history of science and became a part of a bigger project of historical research on the so-called moral economy of science. Perhaps the most prominent example of a scientific virtue is objectivity, and scholars have shown that at a certain historical point, to be objective started to mean to be a good scholar or a good scientist. But it is clear that not all people claiming to act in accordance with the virtue of objectivity do or write or say the same things. And virtue is still a very idealistic concept. It is always about how it should be, but not how it is. Historians can analyze their discourses about virtues and the practices of their cultivation, but their manifestations of these virtues in a real political, scholar, or scientific practice can be very different. This makes a historical research on this a very complex task, but it doesn't mean that it is a useful undertaking. In some regard, in contrast to the established scholarship of epistemic and scientific virtues, I think that the concept of virtue can be very useful not only for analyzing the modes of cognition or very narrow questions regarding various aspects of intellectual work, but also can be applied in praxeological research on the intersections and mutual influences between the domains of science and scholarship and the field of politics.